Hello everyone, and welcome to my review for Kengan Omega Chapter 127. Before I get into this week's review, I of course have to give a shout out to my wonderful patrons. Special thanks to Fuse, Neo, Dijon Redden, Anthony Chavez, Honey Mustard, Zach Rowitz, K-God, Chris Redfield, Scratch23, Rat, Ryzen 4K, Artist, Mac Campaign, and Wave of Manga. Thank you all very much for supporting me on Patreon. I greatly appreciate it. And if you too want to get a shout out at the start of videos or access to reviews for Solo Leveling and The Boxer, you can always become a patron as well. There's a link to my Patreon down in the description. If you haven't already, you should definitely hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. You should also like and leave a comment on this video. Helps boost us up in the algorithm. I'd appreciate it a lot. With that out of the way, let's get on with the review. I have a feeling this chapter may be a little controversial. I have a feeling there are going to be some people that don't like it, but I like it. I think it's pretty good. It's not the best thing ever, but I think it's pretty solid, and there are a lot of parts of this chapter that are just really good. Just fantastic. For starters, I think this chapter probably has some of the best art we've seen in the entirety of Omega. We actually get 2 double-page spreads this chapter, which is very rare. I actually was talking to someone about this very recently. It's been a while since we've gotten a double-page spread. They show up very rarely in Kengan, so when they do show up, it's kind of a big deal. And the first one we get is just Faye beating the ever-loving shit out of Waka, and Waka not going down. The art in this spread is absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely wonderful. Reminds me of some of the best art in Ashura, which I feel like we've been missing a lot of art of that quality. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I think the art style in Omega has improved from Ashura, but at the same time, I think a lot of the stuff that made the art in Ashura so great is missing. You don't really feel the movement and life in the art in Omega as much as you did in Ashura. But that's not the case here. You can definitely feel it in this chapter. It's really good. So this chapter, we kind of get a bit of a Waka flashback, and it's him thinking about how for his entire life he has always been stronger than everyone else. No one's been able to hold a candle to him. Even though he's lost to other people, no one has ever been able to outstrength him, except kind of Julius a little bit. But I would say him and Julius were fairly on par in terms of strength. Julius was just more durable. So he resolves himself to not lose to Faye, because Divine Demon increases Faye's physical strength, and it's because of that he won't lose to him. Because he can't lose in a battle of pure physical strength. And he does what I figured would be a potential winning strategy for Waka, which is trying to use grappling. This isn't like the ground grappling that he did when he fought Muteba. It's him doing a bear hug, kind of like Julius did to him. But it's still grappling, and Waka, being the human hydraulic press that he is, would be able to, in theory, crush Faye just by squeezing him. There's not really, like, a Nico-style technique to avoid that happening. So what Faye is forced to do is use the maximum output of Divine Demon. And this results in him, like, bursting out of Waka's grasp. His body seems to kind of expand even more. His veins are even more bulging than they were already. And we go into the final exchange. Waka attempts to use Blast Core on Faye. Faye dodges, and he lands a hit on Waka's face, knocks him to the other side of the ring. However, using the maximum output of Divine Demon is too much for Faye's body. And it seems like all of his blood vessels burst. He can't handle it. And he thinks back on how he was always being compared to Oma by Tiger Nico. Tiger Nico always wanted him to prove that he was the Tiger's vessel. His job in this tournament was to kill one of the other top-tier Kengan fighters other than Oma, and that he's not allowed to kill Oma. So Tiger Nico still wants Oma. He still sees value in him. I'm sure he still sees him as some kind of potential Tiger's vessel candidate. I think a reason for this is that Oma knows Demon's Bane. Now, a few people have pointed out to me over the last few weeks that Actually, Faye shouldn't know Demon's Bane, because Tiger Nico shouldn't know Demon's Bane. Now, this is a very interesting detail I hadn't really thought of, and thanks to someone on my Discord having read through Ashura over the last few days, I realized, oh yeah, the other Nikos probably shouldn't know Demon's Bane, because it was something that was interrupted. The Demon's Bane training was interrupted when all the Nikos were doing it, and a lot of them died in the process. Some of them were killed in some unknown fashion, but as far as we can tell, Oma's Nico was the only one who actually managed to learn Demon's Bane. So as a result, Oma's the only person with the Nico style alive right now who knows it. So it's probably for that reason that Tiger Nico sees value in Oma, and also still in his value as a potential Tiger's vessel. And as Faye is collapsing onto the ground from his body breaking under the pressure of Divine Demon, he comes to the realization that he is not the Tiger's vessel. He is not the one. And we get a double knockout. So, that's an interesting conclusion. I guess Nicholas versus Okoye kind of made it a possibility. Though that was more of a no contest than a double knockout, I guess. But anyway, I'm not mad about the conclusion of this fight for a couple reasons. First off, it makes both Waka and Faye very impressive. Both of them, I would say, yeah, are probably S+ tier. They're top tier. Faye is knocked out without looking like a jobber, and the same goes for Waka. Both of them walk away from this looking extremely impressive. Not to mention that the chapter itself is just really good. It's a really good chapter. The art in this chapter is outstanding. We have a lot of really good panels. We also get some pretty good narration and inner monologue from the characters. I'm a big fan of it. Do I think this fight is the best in the tournament? Probably. Yeah, it probably is. It's way more over the top than Liu versus Nitoku. I mean, these are people way higher on the power scale than those two, so that's kind of to be expected. But it's really good. It's a really good fight. I'm very pleased with it. The Tiger's vessel, quote-unquote, I guess he's really not the Tiger's vessel anymore. Faye lived up to the hype. He was about as strong, if not stronger, than we expected from the hooded Tiger's vessel from the end of Ashura. So I'm not disappointed with him in the slightest. Some people will call him a jobber. I'm not going to, just like how I wouldn't call Nicholas a jobber, because he did really well. So I'm very satisfied with that. And Waka got a really good fight out of it. Waka did not necessarily overcome the Nico style, but he managed to match the Nico style, so that's very impressive. And the other reason I like the outcome of this fight is it means that the score is probably not going to change, or if it does, like, they'll both get a point, I guess. So there'll still be a tie, and that means that the last fight is the tiebreaker. We don't have to worry about going to an extra round or something. We don't have to worry about a bonus round. While it may have been cool to see, like, I don't know, Koga fight someone like Kengan, who actually got revealed in the latest volume extras, which is actually kind of neat. This final fight is for all the cards. It's going to matter. It's not just to decide whether or not there's going to be another fight. This is for winners and losers, which is what I would want in a fight between Oma and Lelong. Speaking of, this fight has given me faith that Lelong is going to live up to the hype, because it was a big fear that the Tiger's vessel was going to be really underwhelming. It was going to be like Yumigahama, or it was going to be like Lu Tian. But no, he's really goddamn strong. He's one of the strongest characters in the series. So with Lelong being hyped up for this entire tournament as the strongest person in Purgatory and one of the new strongest characters in the series, I'm fairly confident that Sandrovich is not going to disappoint with him, which is a relief. So, yeah, I guess we're going to be getting into that next chapter. We still have to wonder when and what we're going to be seeing of Eddie versus Ryan and Muteba versus Tiger Nico. I'm not super confident in either of them winning their fights. Like, I'm pretty sure Eddie and Tiger Nico can beat both of those dudes, so I'm just wondering more so, are those fights going to be off-screen or not? Would suck if they are. I know I kind of resolved myself to Eddie versus Ryan being off-screen months ago, but now that we've actually kind of seen it starting, I'm kind of hoping we'll get to see the actual fight. But, who knows? So, either we're going to be seeing that next week, I mean, maybe we'll see some of it next week anyway, we'll probably have the reactions from Tiger, Nico, and Eddie to Faye losing, but looks like we're going to be getting into the final battle, we're finally going to be seeing what Lalong can do, and we're finally going to be over with this fucking tournament. Which, while it's had its highs, and this is one of them, has been kind of, overall. It's had a lot of highs and lows. Personally, I'm just really excited to see what Sandrovich has planned for after this, and I hope you do too. So, yeah, that's all I have to say for this week's review. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I do Kengan Omega chapter reviews every week. If you enjoy other series such as Jujutsu Kaisen, Record of Ragnarok, Chainsaw Man, and Bleach, I do videos in those series as well, so if you're interested in those, you should definitely check out my channel. If you enjoy discussing Kengan Omega with other people, or you just enjoy the content I produce in this channel, I highly suggest you check out my Discord server. I have links to that down in the description. Thanks for watching, I'll see you guys around, take care.